Hello there, thank you so much for joining us on this special program where we will be highlighting successes scored in the past 2 years by government. This program will be coming to you on a daily basis on these channels and this channel. My name is Amos Zulu.
And my name is Juliet Mutale.
Now, as we draw closer to the 24th of August 2023, when the United Party for National Development, UPND, formed government and Mr. Hakainde Hichilema being sworn as the 7th President of the Republic of Zambia. As I said earlier, we will be highlighting successes on this program scored in the past 2 years.
And yes, Amos, on this program we have different speakers from various sectors across the country to talk about the various success stories that the UPND government has scored in the last 2 years.
Indeed.
And so, on the program today, Amos, we are featuring our very own Minister of Information and Media, Chushi Kasanda, who is also the Chief Government Spokesperson. She will highlight some of the achievements by the UPND government.
One of the major things that I would like to outline today is that when we came into the office, there was a huge debt in this country, which was suffocating yourself and ourselves as well here. It was suffocating every Zambian, every child, even the child that is still in the stomach or still in the stomach was equally being suffocated because the economy wasn't doing well, and this was due to the overborrowing by our predecessors. But we have addressed that issue through the debt restructuring deal, and we are aware that President Hakainde Hichilema recently clinched with the country's creditors, and economic measures are being implemented, and therefore would definitely see a new turn in the country. And also we need to also take recognition that most retirees were not paid. And we saw how retirees were crying and insulting and some praying just outside the Ministry of Justice in the past regime. But that is something of the past. That is because we as a New Dawn government have made sure that we have paid the retirees. And not to say that we ended there, we have also amended the law to enable those still in employment to access part of their pension contributions to NAPSA. And we have seen the jubilation in the country over that, because a number of people would not even see this money. Many died without seeing this money. But today, as a New Dawn government, we're saying you get partial, you get part of this money, and you make use of it. And we have seen a lot of testimonies out there where a lot of people are saying, today I'm able to buy a house, today I've started my business, I'm able to send my kids to school out of the country, and so on and so forth. And that is something that you can see that the New Dawn government has its people at heart. And also, just to mention, Honorable Douglas Siakalima and myself have been in Parliament. This is not our first term in Parliament, we've been in Parliament before, and we can attest to it that we were receiving 1.6 million kwacha as CDF. But today things have changed. Nobody, not even I, ever dreamt that I would get a 28.3 million in my constituency. Isn't that right, Honorable Siakalima? But today, we're able to give out loans in our constituencies. You don't need to go to the bank directly and get a loan. Today you can get a loan from the constituency fund. There's so much that is being done. Today we are seeing schools in more schools in the constituencies than we ever saw. From that 1.6 that we were getting in the past, most of the people were not able to get any development out of that 1.6, because that 1.6 was not coming on as it should have been coming. I think being a first-termer MP, I think I only got 1.6 twice. And what development can you take with 1.6? That was change. But today we're getting 28.3 million. And there's a lot that we have seen. It's a game changer. There's a lot that's happening in our constituencies. So there's a lot more that we are doing as a New Dawn government. And I think credit should be given where it is due. We reinstated the meal allowances for the students. We are aware that the students didn't have meal allowances. That was taken away from them. Honorable Siakalima was at UNZA. He can tell you what it is for a student not to have a meal allowance. But because even our president was at UNZA, he knows how it is not to have a meal allowance. And that is why we brought back the meal allowance. Because we care for our youths. Today there's free education. The last time that we saw free education was in the time of independence, or the time of Kaunda. But today we have brought back free education. And that is why we thought it was very important that we bring the Minister of Education today so that he can speak to these issues. There's a lot that is happening. The recruitment that has happened, he'll be able to speak to that as well. And I think that was a few days ago that you mentioned about more recruitment coming. So we've got about 4,500, I think, and definitely the minister will speak to it. But we've got more recruitment that is coming.
Minister of Information and Media, Chushi Kasanda, who is also Chief Government Spokesperson, Juliet, highlighting on a number of issues. She talked about the recent debt restructuring deal, but that's the country, but clinched, Juliet, with the creditors. She also talked about the amended law, Juliet, for people to access partial payments, and this is the 20% partial withdrawal. I'm sure you got yours.
Of course, Amos, I got mine. I enjoyed part of it and invested part of it. And, I've talked to some of my colleagues who accessed the partial withdrawal. They have actually invested in livestock and, in poultry, in piggery, a great investment. I must say once again, it is a great score by the government.
A great score indeed, Juliet. And let's now talk about CDF matters. Yeah, so CDF is a flagship of the UPND government, a game changer indeed.
It is indeed a game changer. We are seeing power being taken from the central government to the local level at the lowest point, which is the Ward Development Committees, which are now determining how they can use these funds to bring development in their communities, Amos.
Sure, and you and I, Juliet, have a privilege not to travel across the country. We're able to see the development, but that is taking place through the CDF. But schools are being built, health posts, and a number of development projects, Juliet, that are taking place under the Enhanced Constituency Development Fund. Without forgetting this, Juliet, there is a component of the grant under CDF, which is alleviating a lot of sufferings from the vulnerable communities in our country, Juliet. People are able to start small businesses through the grant component of the CDF, and this is really helping to improve their livelihoods.
And I've heard you talk about the aspect of schools. We can't talk about CDF without talking about the desks that are being procured to address the challenges of the learners. And you see, the president made a pronouncement that no learner should sit on the floor.
No learner should sit on the floor, Juliet, and this was a pronouncement from the head of state. And those in authority have taken this seriously and are working around the clock to ensure that that pronouncement by the head of state is implemented. And during the press briefing was also Minister of Education, Douglas Masiakalima, who also touched on this issue of no learner should sit on the floor.
Public schools. So you have a choice, but they still teach in terms of standards. We actually monitor. We cannot monitor or tell them charge this much. If a parent can afford, so why are they complaining? If I thought it's coming from a parent. Do you know the reason why I found an extra 7,000? It is those people who are hiding in private schools. To think that they can afford. If you cannot afford, take your children to a public school. Now what we are doing is, instead, even those who are going to secondary schools, they've got in their own villages a bursary scheme which pays for them. This is one thing that I forgot. So it means that the money, they were paying for each child 2,000 kwacha. That burden has been removed from them. In all, we have actually helped parents more than 7,000 to put in their pockets, so that they can go and buy soap, they can go and buy minimum, they can go and buy uniforms for their children. That's the money which has been released out there. So mine, encourage those people to take their children to, because now we're expanding, so space will be there to accommodate everybody.
Well, I'm sure viewers, you have seen for yourselves, you have heard for yourselves the many success stories from the government. And of course, we are still bringing to you the many more success stories on this program.
As my colleague has said, Juliet will be bringing to you different speakers from various sectors of the economy. So until tomorrow, my name is Amos Zulu.
And my name is Juliet Mtele. Bye-bye.
Bye.